The first time I told my father that I want to be a bus conductor, he didn't bother to think about it. He looked from a corner of his year-old magazine for a split second and said, okay. Maybe it wasn't a part of his expectation. Maybe I wasn't. I stood there hoping to be appreciated for having a dream, and he sat there in silence, ignoring my presence. The second time, I fell in love with a skeleton in a lab, and I told my father, I want to be an anthropologist. Now, I wasn't sure if my father knew what it meant. You see, my father is a learned man, but his education never catered to his thirst of knowledge. He was still holding on to a newspaper. He didn't even look at me. He just said, okay, and went back to accompanying the paper as I stood with my raw dreams unacknowledged. The third time, I was really excited about talking about my dream. I have chosen a worthy goal for myself, I thought. I wanted to be an aerospace engineer, I told my father. He was still sitting with the tattered book wearing the same shirt. My dreams have been changing faster than my father's shirt, I thought. And guess what he said to me? With a plain monotone face, he said, okay. Maybe I should stop bothering him, I told myself. Maybe him and his books are the only world he has. But I was naive and still a kid, so the fourth time I went to my father, I was hoping he would hug me or tell me that he has been proud of my journey, or if nothing, would just nod and pat, something to show how glad he is, how much he appreciates. So I told him, Father, I want to be a mathematician, a teacher just like you. And my father, now old and wrinkled with that same shirt, only torn now, with the same book, or maybe different, I couldn't tell, it had a newspaper cover, looked at me and for a split second and said, okay. I decided never to share my dreams with anyone. After all, my own father discarded them. How would I expect others to embrace it? So I went along my ambitions and aspirations and strived to achieve them one at a time. And then one day, the real world hit me. I came across this old lady dying, her flesh rotten, as she asked for alms on a roadside. I gave her all I had, knowing it wasn't enough. I felt as helpless as her. I felt shattered. I could feel the tears as they made their way out. I ran back to my father and I told him how I feel. With a broken voice, I mumbled, Father, I wish I could do more. I wish I was a better person, more capable. And my father gave me that longest glance ever and looked straight into my eyes and smiled and said, okay. But my father smiled for the first time for me. Between the other okays and this one, there was a universe of difference. And I didn't know what I did to deserve that, but I was happy. My heart felt accomplished. Later that, while shifting places, I came across our showcase, dirt and ancient. Between the trophies and badges and small china pieces, I found all my answers. Those mini buses from when I was 2, free dummy skeletons and bone pieces that my father got me from his doctor friends when I was 5. The Buzz Aldrin pen stand, that one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind poster, and the Wings of Fire from when I was 11. And that math trick book by Shakuntala Devi from when I was 13. And beneath all of that, a newspaper wrapped book, almost forgotten. It read, Dare to Dream. You see, my father is not good with words. With broken dreams, I guess we all fall short of words. But with every loss he incurred, he realized the worth of his dreams. And so when his son started creating his own dreams, all he wanted to be a pillar he never had for support. And in his silence, behind the curtains, all he did was stand by each one of them. Maybe confidence and expressions were the best of his traits. But my father, ladies and gentlemen, has a heart of a gold. And the moment when his shine spread shine on me, I'm glad he saw through it and smiled for me, to me. Today, after a 48-hour-long journey, I went to meet my father. I saw him sitting on a veranda holding a book, trying to read through his foggy glasses. I don't know if he had the same shirt or different, but it looked very similar. And as I walked to him, he kept his book aside. He stood up to talk to me. You see, my father never liked me touching his feet. I think he respected me more than I ever could. And I looked straight into his eyes. I almost cried and I said, Father, thank you. And he said, okay. Thank you.